those groups are not the most prominent.
Yeah,
Those groups
that's what I'm saying.
are not the ones
why we're the
saying
most prominent.
30th of June.
You know what? You know why they're not the most prominent?
Why is that?
Because they've never pulled marches with the crowd that we have.
Which is why you have to accept that March and March has to take responsibility
for
the tensions.
No, we're not.
For the anti-migrant. Because,
no, we're not going to take responsibility.
If March and March was saying, look, we are fighting for everybody in the country because we want this country, we want government to do better by us.
Yeah.
We want that to start by government securing our porous borders. We want that to start by government putting out stricter immigration. We want that to start by government having faster, quicker, more, clearance with integrity for those who come in. With refugees. In fact, even if you were demanding, we want government to review the refugee laws in South Africa. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that at all. But what is and cannot be denied is, much as you say, those people outside, the Malawians who were outside, I think is Durban driving. That's right, Durban driving by the sea. Much as you say, look, all of those people are undocumented, all of those people were living in these houses which are run by cartels, etc. Much as you say that, at the fundamental of it is humanity. And that is the question. Where does March and March draw the line between government's failures and humanity?
So
given that,
can I just find out from you,
Go ahead.
in terms of humanity, what role do you think we played in them being at the drive-in, and you feel like it was our fault to create a humanitarian crisis? If I can just get clarity.
Okay, like I've just explained to you, all those other groups you mentioned, they're much smaller. March and March are the forefront.
No, it's fine. Let's say
you are the
we're
face
at the
of
forefront.
that.
I'm just trying to get...
And the rhetorics that come out is anti-migrant. You are not saying that when you are not saying
let me tell
government.
you something. Let me tell you something. When I started March and March, even our first march was directed to the government. There was no foreign employment involvement at all. None whatsoever.
You didn't mention anything about migrants, foreigners?
Of course we talk about that because we talk about illegal immigration.
Yes, but you were directing it.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
What was the chant at that time? What was the your slogan?
No, it's always been Abahambe. That's not going to change.
Right, it's got to
because obviously Abahambe because they're in the country legally. Because you can't tell me that. I always say you can't tell me if you come into a country legally you're innocent. Of course you're not. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Why are you innocent? You came into my country legally.
Okay, so
what makes you innocent?
Let's talk about that. Okay, there are people, when people are refugees and they come into the country.
I don't. You see, that's why I avoid. I don't like having this conversation about
let's have it. We're being honest.
You know why? Because every time we talk about this, the first position that people assume a migrant is a victim.
Okay,
because if you're saying to me that they're a refugee, you're automatically giving them a victim label, which is not fair.
But do you not believe that there are refugees?
Everyone is here.
No, not everyone is a refugee. I agree.
That's my point. Majority of the people we have here are not refugees. They're not.
But there are 7,000
Those people
refugees.
are economic migrants. They're not refugees.
How do you know? Have you seen their
because
papers?
They're working.
But
they
have you
don't
seen
have
their papers?
papers.
But there are 7,000. They arguably.
So wait.
I'm just saying.
So wait.
Arguably.
You're saying to me. Wait. I want to find out what makes you believe they are refugees. Maybe if you can define that for me.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
From looking at them, we decided they're refugees.
No, not from looking. I'm just saying to you, the groups who support them, will tell you that these are documented refugees.
No.
To finish.
Yeah,
to the point.
I'm talking about factually here. Let's talk facts. 90% of those people are undocumented, right? Most of them, majority of them, say they went there because they needed to get home before the deadline. That's what they say.
They want to go.
Yes, right? So I'm asking you, from that analysis and from those statistics,
from what they said,
what makes you give them the label of refugees? Like, why?
And this is what I'm saying to you. Let's separate it. You said those who want to go, those people that have said, we've come here because we want to leave before the 30th.
Yes.
Because obviously people are petrified. They're afraid. And nobody knows what's going to happen. We'll talk about that later. I interviewed documented migrants yesterday. Right?
From where?
From Nigeria. I have them, I interview them, and they say they're documented, but they want to go. Because one, they're afraid. There was a man who had been here for 30 years, he said, I've seen this happen many times, I've seen the violence, but this one is different. He said, I go into a shop, and I'm attacked. I go into this and this. His wife is there, his child is there. He said, yes, I'm documented. I've been here for 30 years. I had a business. So what I'm saying to you is, permit me, it's not just those who are undocumented
So you see,
who want to leave.
that's why I want to talk to you.
I know.
I wanted you to tell me.
Yeah, I'm going there.
I want you to tell me when you say they're documented. I want to
No,
go
I'm just saying.
to say,
So
what
it's not
exactly
just those.
do you mean they're documented?
Well, they say they have their
Documented
papers.
You don't know that, right?
Well, I'm just saying, but neither do you. You don't know the
that's
papers for all those people.
You see, that's why I want you and I to be, to try and understand each other here, right? Because I'm living here. And I can grab the next South African when we come out of here, right? And ask them from the interviews that we have seen of Nigerians once they land in South Africa, how many of them do you believe are telling the truth?
So what? Nigerians are liars because that's your experience?
Not just Nigerians, no, not just Nigerians. All the people once they leave South Africa.
Once they leave?
Yes, I mean when they land in their countries, from what they're explaining.
Once they evacuated,
Once they start describing what was happening in South Africa. It's stories that we know are not true. Because someone will say, let me give you an example. I'm giving you an example, I'm taking you there. Someone will say, I came here on a visa. There's a man who said he was here for I think 20 years. He came here, he was, he said he had, he was an asylum seeker. Then he said his documents expired, but he was running a business, right? Now, you know those stories don't come together, right? Because you can't have a document expire, then you're an asylum seeker. Because you must decide, Pele, if you're coming in as a visitor, you're a visitor. Then you're an asylum seeker, you're an asylum seeker. When you seek asylum, it's the first thing that you do. You seek asylum, because that's what you're here for. You can't seek asylum after your document expires. And then on top of that, you open a business. What documents are you using to open a business? These are things that you see.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But what if they had opened the business whilst they had the papers?
That's what I'm saying. You can't open a business with those documents. There are certain documents that allow you to open a business. There are others that don't. You can't open a business with an application for an asylum seeker.
I see.
You can't. You can't.
But you can open one once you're cleared as an asylum seeker.
In the country, there's 250,000 only refugees and asylum seekers in the entire system.
250,000
in the entire system. So as someone who's been on the ground doing work, as you can see in the video I showed you, we literally go with the police and Home Affairs. Because we're allowed, we've got a right to do that, with the police and Home Affairs, to see these documents. What they started doing now is they take a paper. Remember, an asylum seeker document is a piece of paper.
Right,
it's nothing special. They photocopy, they stick all of them, they have the same documents. Majority of them don't have real documents. I don't know if you've seen, there's a report by the SIU that was saying exactly that, that some of them are even buying these documents fraudulently. Nigerians come here as students, majority. So I'm just trying to paint a picture of how they come in as student visas. So there's a young boy who passed away. I don't know how he passed away not too long ago. So Nigerians are trying to get money for him to go home. Or that boy who tragically passed away as an Uber driver. So he came in the country.
Well, he was killed. He didn't pass away.
No, he was killed.
He was killed.
No, it was a crime issue.
It was a crime. Yes.
Let's
no, I'm just saying he was killed. No, that was crime. No, it was crime by somebody in the car, a driver, a passenger that he took. Yes.
And that was very tragic. Nobody advocates for that. But when they found out his documents, he came as a student. He never went to study a day in his life. And when he was now trying to work, he was working using someone else's identity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to paint a picture of how people come into the country. So I think they said about 4,000 student visas had been issued. And all of these people are not students.
To Nigerians in how many years?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know the
you just said 4,000.
I'll send you the report so that you can see it for yourself.
That would be great.
I'll send you the report so you can see it for yourself. But what I'm trying to say too is that the problem is there's too many issues happening at the same time in the country.
Certainly.
Do you understand?
Certainly.
So we've got an issue of illegal immigration, just walking in at the border because the border is nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Then there's an increase of people who are buying documents, which of course we can't blame people, because if there's corrupt people selling documents, yes, they're corrupt. Both of them are corrupt, the buyer and the seller, right? And then on top of that, there's people who are photocopying documents, carrying them around, but they're not real documents. Even today, they caught another one who was trying to come and get a smart ID in Ndwedwe, just down the road, because there's so many fake documents in the country. I hope you understand that.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, let me add to the problem so you have a picture. There's only 800 immigration officers in the entire country for a population of God knows how many people, because the one that was there from Stats SA says 65 million people, right? That was 2022, right? They said 65 million people, right, at the time. We don't know how many people are in the country.